Hello and welcome to Qsports. Thank you very much if you're just joining us. I am Umudu Gajaga, and on tonight's show, we are discussing beach volleyball exclusively as the Gambia is set to host the big volleyball qualifiers. That is the qualifiers to the Olympic Games. Well, 5 countries, but 2 sports available to move to the final round of qualifying. And with me in the studio is my guest, Baidudu Jallo, the president of the Gambia Volleyball Federation. Stay tuned as we take you through Gambia's beach volleyball team and also how preparations are when it comes to the hosting of this big event. Welcome and thank you if you're just joining us. This is Qsports and I am Umudu Gajaga. With me in the studio is Baidudu Jallo, the president of the Gambia Volleyball Federation. Big event coming to town. It starts on the 12th to the 16th of March at the Palmarima Beach. 5 countries. Among them is Mauritius, Kenya, South Sudan, Botswana, and the host Gambia. 2 places up for grabs. How far are preparations?
Preparation are really well on the way. Right now we are doing only the final touches. Of course, we will the logistics are more or less in place right now. We have worked out the place where all the delegations will be accommodated, and also we have also started almost putting in place all the ground logistics at the beach. So the team also, the national team, you know, have been preparing in Qatar. Both the 2 pairs have been preparing in Qatar. I think even in terms of technical preparation, we have seen a high-level technical preparation for this competition from Gambia. Really, I think most of the things are in place now. We are just waiting for the day to start, for the countries to arrive, and for the day for us to start and kick off. And really, with the way it is going, we are looking forward to a very interesting competition.
Why do you think the Africa Volleyball Federation chooses Gambia? You know, a small fish in a big pond among all these big nations when it comes to their pedigree and all of that.
Yeah, really, I think right now we should not be talking about that because Gambia, given though we are very small, but we are African champions in beach volleyball. So that makes us, you know, bigger than everybody in the continent when it comes to beach volleyball in men. We are the African champions. So, and I think also with respect to organization of international competitions, the history has been good. We've been successful in almost all the international competitions that we have hosted here. And the feedback that have gone to the Confederation of African Volleyball have been very positive. So this is why Gambia easily have been given the chance to host again. And we even look forward to hosting the finals of this Olympic qualification in Banjul. Hopefully, if people pray for us, even we can get that big one to be hosted in Banjul here. So really, it's a matter of history, but it's a matter of hard work and commitment that the Gambia Volleyball Federation have been putting in place over the years.
In terms of support, who is putting in the funding here? Because these countries, when they come here, they will be perhaps lodged in a hotel and then their accommodation, their food and shelter throughout the qualifiers. So who is taking care of the bills?
Yeah, actually, you know, this is it's an international competition. There's a lot of aspect when it comes to the budget and the funding for the competition. You know, as a host, Gambia have some responsibilities, which is putting in place all the logistics at the beach. And also, we have the responsibility of taking care of our national team. Okay, so really we've been, in terms of funding, we have been working with the Gambia National Olympic Committee. They have helped a lot. They have already paid for the travel expenses of the teams from Qatar to come here, and especially the team that is based in Qatar to come and play and go back. You know, they have helped with some few other logistics with respect to the accommodation of the team in the hotel and so on. The Ministry of Youth and Sports also have given us a very big promise that some of the other aspect of the funding, they will also support it. They will support the national team with respect to jerseys and allowances. They will also support some of the logistical arrangements we are supposed to do, but also the international referees that are supposed to come and officiate these matches. Gambia is responsible for their allowances. The ministry also have promised to cover that. And there are other expenses that countries coming will also have to cover. You know, when they come, they have to take care of their delegations at the hotel at a rate that the Confederation of African Volleyball have already stipulated. So we have worked out that rate with the hotel. So as at now, everything is going fine. We have also approached private sector support. Really, it's all promises at the moment, but we are expecting that some institution in the private sector who would want to, promote their goods and services at the grounds will also commit to support some aspect of our budget. So far, that's where we are. Really, with respect to the private sector, we still did not have anything concrete, but hopefully now against Thursday, Friday, something will come out.
You're going to host 4 nations, the Gambia making it the 5th one in the country throughout this competition. Now that we have disturbing news all over the globe about the coronavirus, are any last-minute cancellations from any country, or all the countries have expressed desire to be part of these qualifiers?
Yeah, actually, let's keep praying, because Gambia at the moment is coronavirus free. And that is really helping us. And
some of the countries which are also taking part, we've not had any case in Mauritius, in Kenya, South Sudan, Botswana as well.
Exactly. The case in Senegal is not helping the situation, given the proximity of our country to Senegal. But I think the fact that Gambia is still coronavirus free is really helping us. So far, we have not get cancellation completely, but this thing, any day it comes, especially before the start of the tournament, it can have a big impact on the tournament. So we are also praying very, very hard that Gambia remains coronavirus free, and if that situation continues, we expect the countries to come in and take part in the competition.
Now, your team, the Gambia, have already made a pedigree in African volleyball history. Well, last year at the African Games in Rabat, Morocco, the Gambia won the gold medal in the beach volleyball, knocking out big nations, the likes of Morocco. You talk about the likes of Botswana, Kenya as well. So here we have Kenya, we have Botswana, but they're also looking for the same spot that we are looking forward to in the final round of qualifying. That's 2 countries will make it through. Well, earlier on in November, you hosted the qualifiers, the first phase of it, where the Gambia, Sierra Leone, Mali, and Guinea took part in this, and Gambia, in terms of ranking, came out top. This time around, you're playing against fairly bigger nations. How do you see it going?
Qsports, difficult to predict until the tournament start going, then you can start to see the realities. I think these countries also are good countries. That is why they have emerged from the first round of the qualification. And Kenya have a very strong volleyball pedigree. Currently in the indoor volleyball, their female team have qualified to the Olympic Games, and they will be representing Africa. Yeah, so that shows you that obviously they will also be good in beach. So the other countries, Mauritius, Botswana, they are also very good in beach volleyball. So it's going to be a more competitive competition than the one that we hosted in November. But I think if you look at, even if you gauge the press releases coming, the press coverage coming from all these countries, their coaches are saying that they are preparing for Gambia. I think Gambia should be very, very mindful, given that it is already the African champion. All these countries will prepare against Gambia. So, but I think Gambia also have done a lot of preparation. We have seen after the winning of the gold medal at the African Games, the Gambian team back in Qatar have continued to play at a level where none of these other countries' teams have been playing. We have been playing in the FIVB World Tour. Already they have played, as we speak now, they have played in 3 FIVB World Tour competitions. The recent one, just yesterday, they played in a 4-star which is one of the highest, because the highest is 5, but 4-star, all the teams that play in the 5-star also play in the 4-star.
4-star.
So all the big teams in the world are currently in Qatar playing in the 4-star, and our team is lucky to be playing in that competition. So really this I think might give them an edge over the other teams. So I think with respect to the competition, Gambia still will be standing as favorite, but I don't think we should take that for granted, because even though if you are favorite, you still have to show it on the ground. So we still need to come and support, put a lot of support, and make sure at least the home advantage is provided to our team to easily win and qualify for the final stage.
How has Qatar, where 2 of our most senior players are based, training every day, week in, week out, they also play their professional football, professional volleyball in Qatar. How has it helped shaped Gambian volleyball?
Absolutely. I think the contribution of that country to our volleyball is huge. Already I can, you know, I think the level of our volleyball, I think you must give a lot of credit to the opportunity that our players have had over there in Qatar. I think we have been lucky to easily break through, but I think also the development aspect of volleyball has been good in the country. This is why our players have been very attractive to Qatar. But there in Qatar, the facilities are excellent. Also, the environment is really, really good. They also have a lot of very big coaches around the world who have been attracted to that Gulf state, who are there working. When you go to the beach volleyball training facilities, you will see these coaches working there. Unfortunately for our pair, the moment they get there in Babu Jara and Seni, they were attracted by a very good coach who saw a lot of potentials and realized that, look, if I really work with these boys on this and this and this will be the results. So I think Qatar has given our volleyball huge opportunity. And I think the other aspect of it is that Qatar, let me tell you, have a player in their A team, in their A national team, beach volleyball team, who is a Gambian. I mean, Tijan Janko. He is one of the top.
I think I would have to pause you there, because yes, I've watched him play.
Exactly.
I think his teammates is Senegalese.
Exactly.
And in one of the games that they had,
yes,
he's been fantastic.
Excellent.
Well,
excellent player.
The serves has been great, and also the ball smashes. He was really great.
Absolutely. He is in his position right now. He is number 5 in the world, and he plays in all the world tours for Qatar. And because of him, Qatar is currently the champion of Asia, and they have already qualified to the Olympic Games. And you know, he is a big player in Qatar, and he
started off his volleyball in the Gambia.
In the Gambia, he has played even in the Gambian National League, and he comes here for holidays every year. He always tries to hide from the media, so you guys are not catching him.
I am going to spot him someday. Yes, obviously.
But he's a big player, and he performing at that level in Qatar has opened up, for Gambia, because I mean, them seeing him, give them the impression that Gambia might have a lot more Tijan Jankos. And they have come here, they have found, Mbai Babu Jara and Seni. And Qatar is really coming for a lot more players. Unfortunately, also at the level of the federation, the 2 federations, we have now started to work together. Last time they invited me to attend the FIVB World Tour 1 Star. And during that period, we had a lot of discussion, and we have some arrangements between our 2 federations. And one of the arrangements resulted to the locally based beach volleyball pair going there for a training program. So Qatar is really helping us very, very well. Their president is also very impressed that volleyball is doing very well in the Gambia, even though there are, the facilities and so on are not around, but yet the country is doing well internationally. So he is very much encouraged and motivated to try to help Gambia, and also establish that, you can have this, South-South cooperation, and which is normally very helpful. So Qatar is a big factor in what is happening in the country right now.
We're currently doing very well, as we've earlier on talked about. Now, the sustainability aspect of it, because this should be a project that should continue. Well, once these players reach their age of retirement, they should be replaced by others. How do we make sure that this thing continues. You have the Dream Project and you have other projects as well. But how, when it comes to the sustainability aspect of it. But in fact, I'm being reminded that we will have a short break, and when we come back, we will continue with beach volleyball, as the Gambia is set to host the beach volleyball qualifiers to the Olympics as far as Africa is concerned. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and thank you very much if you're just joining us. This is Qsports, and we are talking about beach volleyball as the Gambia is ready to host the Africa beach volleyball qualifiers for the Olympics. 5 nations, 2 would progress to the next round of the qualifiers for Africa, where the final winners would head to the Olympic Games in Japan, Tokyo 2020, which is just a few months away. And I have with me in the studio the president of the Gambia Volleyball Federation. Now we're talking about the sustainability aspect of it. You've started something called the Dream Project. Take us through the Dream Project.
Yeah, actually, sustainability is a big challenge normally if you are getting this kind of progress. But really, what we are looking at is you have to look at different category of players. And what we have seen also, you have to start the development of players into these sports at a very early age. So we have the Dream Project. It was funded by the Confederation of African Volleyball, but currently the funding have finished. But fortunately, we have very committed coaches who are continuing, who are very motivated because they've seen the results, and they are continuing the work in different centers. But we do have pockets of support coming for this Dream Project. For example, we have a foundation in Belgium called the Mo Beta Foundation. They are currently supporting a Dream Project in YMCA. We also have a Holland philanthropist who is currently supporting a Dream Project in Abuko and in Kasakunda. And yet still the Banjul Center, the Joswang and the Serekunda East and Brikama Center are also continuing. So we are really working on the development of the young players in the sport, because that is where you can really sustain this momentum, because you want to develop them. And the fact that they are also seeing the top players, the senior players performing at this level, I think now it gives us even a bigger advantage, because they can really see where they have to go to, how much work they have to put in to get to the level of the senior players. I think now it's very clear, because you are down there, and we can use a lot of examples and show them. You can use the examples of Mbai Babu Jara, Seni Jao, the examples of Tijan, and so on, and show it to these young players. And I think that will even fasten the progress of our development. So really the sustainability is there. Now what we need also is, given that this international level is really, really tough and hard, you need a lot of infrastructure also to be in place in the country if you want to sustain this. I mean, it's not only about the effort that we do with the players, but the infrastructure have to be there, because now the history, the narration is going to be different. Gambia is going anywhere, everybody will prepare for Gambia. It's different from before, where Gambia would be seen as an underdog. And now surprisingly breaking. Now Gambia is seen as the favorite, clear favorite, and whatever team you take, everybody will prepare for you. So this is the way we are looking at it. But hopefully, if the infrastructure also, especially on the side of government comes in and really try to establish very good infrastructure for volleyball, because that infrastructure creates a better environment for development and for the growth of the young players. So I think that will help in the sustainability. But the sustainability also is not a responsibility only for the Gambia Volleyball Federation, but it's a general responsibility from government. The private sector also needs to come in and support. Really, right now, Gambia is African champions. We have 2 players, who are paraded all over the world, especially in Africa, and yet still in the Gambia there is no company following or supporting them. So we need also the private sector to really use this opportunity to capture these faces and put them all over the countries, so that they will motivate a lot of young people. And that also is going to encourage a lot of young players to be like Mbai and Seni. If they see Mbai and Seni in billboards all over the country, if they see Mbai and Seni being used to advertise products and services, they will also see that, look, we also have to grow up and be like Mbai and Seni. I think also the private sector should try to come in and support, provide packages for these players, and make sure that these players knows that the country is accompanying them. I think that is also going to help a lot in the sustainability. But lot of factors have to be in place, for sustainability too. And we are trying. We are looking at all these things and trying to push so that all these things work out.
You've talked about funding, which is hugely important in terms of the infrastructure. The Gambia is zero. Well, for beach volleyball, obviously, the only thing that you need is the beach and maybe the technical capacity. It's very natural. But for an indoor court, you've been crying about having an indoor court, a standard one for that matter, where the players could be developed. You have a national league that, of course, teams take part in both the male and the female category, which has been running consistently, and it has been very, very competitive. When it comes to the indoor aspect of it, you think why the Gambia has not been making much more progress in terms of competition in the continent is because of lack of infrastructure?
Absolutely, absolutely. The indoor is a complete, because look, the success that we have in beach volleyball, we could have get similar in the indoor.
It reminds me of your match against Cape Verde.
Exactly.
Okay, you beat Senegal, and then Cape Verde at the stadium. It was a difficult match for the Gambia.
Exactly, exactly. Because really, and Cape Verde have most of their team playing in Portugal. So you can imagine, we are having an imagined team, an imagined indoor team. So I think when it comes to talents and skills, Gambia is really gifted. Now the infrastructure is really absent. Indoor volleyball, it's a huge challenge for us, because in indoor volleyball, no way, no chance if you don't have the infrastructure. Because look, you cannot.
In fact, you can't even host the events.
You cannot host the event. You cannot prepare your team on an outdoor, and in the next day they are in an indoor and to play against a team that have been preparing all day, all night in indoor. So the chances will definitely be slim. But let me tell you, if we are able to get this kind of infrastructure, this kind of support, very soon the success that you see in beach, you will also see it in indoor, because we have the players, and luckily we have coaches right now who are very, very dedicated and who we have developed up to level 2. So really, all those things are in place. The infrastructure is the problem, and if you cannot host international competitions, then you see also how much you will miss when it comes to your development. Because if you cannot host international competition, you cannot expose the game in the country. You cannot show what the game is like in the country to the people that you will have if you host it. So really, the infrastructure thing is a huge thing. And I can promise Gambia that if we try to put this infrastructure in place, and an indoor facility is not only going to be useful for volleyball, but for a host of sports like basketball, handball, karate, all these sports will use an indoor facility. They use indoor facilities. So you have one, it will serve all these sports. So really, an indoor facility right now should be a very big priority for government. Government should really look at it very, very critically, because these sports cannot continue to progress if you don't have an indoor facility. So government must see it. Even one we don't have all over the country. Right now, we should not be talking about that. Even next door neighbor Senegal have more than close to 10 indoor facilities across their country. Gambia, we don't even have
a single one.
A single one.
That's a very sad.
Yeah, I think we can do better than this. And I really urge our government to look at this. I think there have been a lot of talk about it, and it's something that can be done. For me, it's something that can be done.
Finally, let's talk about technical capacity in terms of coaching, in terms of refereeing. I know we have our own local referees. We have our own coaches as well, whom their capacities have been built to a certain level. In just under a minute, what do you think could be done to improve the technical capacity of both the coaches and the referees?
Yeah, we have to continue to work very hard. We have to continue to bring in training programs for the coaches in the country. But I think some of the aspects we are looking at, even with the Qatar Federation, is to get our coaches go there, have some attachment with some high-level teams, and learn a lot of things, come back and continue the work. We are going to exploit all this for our coaches. So for coaching, you really have to get them, you have to expose them, you have to also train them. And when they get the capacity, they can transmit that to the players. Right now, that is not at a very high level, so we have to work very hard on that. For the referees also, it's pretty much easier, because what you have to do is just to make sure your referee have the national experience, and then when there is an international refereeing course, you make sure they go, and then during international tournaments they come in and participate. After 1 or 2 years, the experience will come up. So that also we are doing. We have international referees in indoor, about 2. We are working on an international referee in beach. So that is okay. For the coaches, we have to really push. We have to push harder and bring up the capacity, like sending them to developed countries like Qatar and other places where they can work and learn a lot of experience and bring that experience back home.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time, Dudu Jallo.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to this competition. It starts on the 12th and it will end on the 16th at the Palmarima Beach. Come out there and support Team Gambia as they make their quest for their first appearance in the Olympic Games in the beach volleyball category. 5 nations, but only 2 will progress to the final round of qualifying. Thank you very much for watching this edition of Q Sports, and keep on sporting. Bye for now.